Conquest, AERTH. The Way of the Wavelength Spellsong Minstrel Handbook, The Magic of Song Spellsong. Minstrels are one of the most powerful spellcasting professions. Although there are obvious drawbacks to their techniques, most are potent and useful. The first and most obvious deficit in their spellsong is that until they select mixing as a skill of the mighty, they can only sing one spell at a time. This means that in game terms, they must decide on only one durational spell at a time. They do have some magic which works in an instant, but the vast majority of their spells are durational, which makes mixing quite an important skill for them. The others include the inability to produce magic in environments that do not produce normal reverberating sound. Underwater song is a separate skill of the mighty and must be practiced if a spell is to penetrate a liquid medium. There are quite a few definite advantages to Spellsong, however. The first is that it can be carried on radio waves to an audience many kilometers away. The magic does lose something in translation over long distances, -1 O manipulation per kilometer of transmission. Using this ability, many governments hire Spellsong minstrels to promote their decisions and armed forces for recruitment and containment of free thinking within the civilian population. Another of their gains from using verse and note is the basic skill, banding. A collective O manipulation can be used by a band instead of casting individually. Any of the members can contribute magic points, at least one each. The collective O manipulation is equal to the highest O manipulation of the group +1 for each individual in the band. This can be improved by the selection of specific skills of the mighty, or if the organization gains enough members to form one of the following recognized magical formations. Brass band, 2 or more with brass instruments, plus D2 collective O manipulation. Percussion trio, 3 band members with drums, plus D3 collective O manipulation light wind section, 3 wing instruments, plus D4 collective O manipulation singing quartet, 4 singers with at least one skill of the mighty, plus D5 O manipulation modern band, lead singer, guitar, drums, keyboard, plus D6 collective O manipulation radical band, at least 3 with unorthodox instruments, plus D7 collective O manipulation string quartet, 4 band members with stringed instruments, plus D8 collective O manipulation techno band, 5 band members with electronic instruments, plus D9 collective O manipulation heavy metal band, 6 plus W/assorted appropriate inster skills, plus D10 collective O manipulation marching band, 8 or more with appropriate instruments, plus D11 collective O manipulation subculture band, 5W/different instrument group, plus D12 collective O manipulation orchestra, over 15 members with assorted instruments, plus D20 collective O manipulation. Fame and notoriety are acquired skills for a Spellsong minstrel. They can be attempted after each public display of magic. When first gaining fame or notoriety, GM's discretion, it is a roll under, rank a victim, or bested on D100. Once one of these Q attributes is achieved, then adding or subtracting from it is up to the GM. This is not to say that a player character cannot petition to have his fame added to, "Come on man, that was spectacular!" Another interesting skill of the mighty that is available to the Spellsong minstrel is plagiarism, whereby spoken spells that have been heard are made into bastardized spellsong with slightly downgraded effect. Skills of a Spellsong minstrel musical ability. All Spellsong minstrels have basic, non-magical musical talent. This can be used to gain income or to cause a distraction. Basic non-magical songs do not sell for much, charisma X10 gold truths. They take only D3 hours to compose, however. Some busking can be instrumental in establishing enough cash for a reasonable attempt at gambling for larger amounts. Musical ability improves with rank. Mental recitation. If a Spellsong minstrel does nothing else magically in a round, he/she may enhance his, her, or resilience by remembering some effective counter-magical tunes. This bonus is 1/4 of rank. The minstrel is not impeded in this ability by the use of normal magical weapons. Mental recitation can be employed continuously for as long as the Spellsong minstrel desires, as many times as is needed. Tablature used in the same way that sorcerers and wizards use scrolls. It takes 1 month to produce a ream of tablature. This will include all of the spells of a given rank. Once used, tablature is no longer of any use. The cinematics as to its destruction are up to the player character. i.e. ink fades, parchment burns, etc. For each ream of tablature in existence by a Spellsong minstrel, -2 magic points are taken temporarily from the maximum magic point score. This still works out much cheaper for the casting of spells. Adequate lighting must be available as there is fine detail in the magical characters and lines. Extreme personality, optional performers sometimes have qualities that cause others to react to them in either a positive or negative fashion. If this basic skill is chosen, it indicates that the Spellsong minstrel has a controversial image and therefore creates a stir when he or she enters a settlement. It is up to the GM who likes or dislikes whom, but a good guide is hostile territory, under charisma on 3d10 to have the crowd in your hands, unfriendly 3d9, neutral 3d8, regional 3d7, local 3d6. Banding Spellsong. Minstrels can band and thereby gain collective O manipulation. With the selection of defensive banding, they can also gain collective or resilience. Only one spell is cast when a band uses this ability, but they can cast individually if they choose. All of the members of the casting crew have to contribute at least 1 magic point, but it's up to the leader, the minstrel with the highest O manipulation, to decide where the magic points are primarily drained from. Language and communication. Learning many different forms of expression with the study of singing and spellcasting, Spellsong minstrels rarely have trouble with foreign languages and only require a roll under D20 on intellect to understand reasonably complex spoken word. They do not generally have enough scholarly training to read foreign languages, but can frequently understand signs and directions from locals. Composition. If a Spellsong minstrel really does not like you, he/she may tailor a song specifically for you. Whether it is more effective on you depends heavily on the musical practitioner's predisposition to magic and the intended victim's intelligence. The tune, which takes D7 hours to refine, grants the difference of rank plus genetics of Spellsong minstrel, rank plus intellect of intended victim, to O manipulation, speed, and/or damage versus that individual. Once used once against a character, a unique composition will be just as any other spell versus that opponent. The shock only works once. Stardom Spellsong minstrels are amongst the only characters who can select fame or notoriety as an acquired skill. These scores are added to charisma when dealing with Category 1 civilians. Instrument weaponry. It is a great inconvenience to fight with one hand and perform magical music with the other, or with feet while fending off opponents. A standard magical musical instrument is useless in defense unless it is two-handed, where it negates the 5 defense penalty for not being rightly armed. It is of little use to possess instrumental weaponry without the benefits of the tools of the trade giving magical bonuses. Unless the only aim is concealment, normal weapons are slightly more potent. Hence, instrumental weaponry and magical instruments are usually both selected as they go hand in hand. Instruments that incorporate a weapon within their functioning frames can be crafted by a Spellsong minstrel who selects this skill of the mighty. Instrument weaponry can be selected up to 3 times at mighty level. The Spellsong minstrel has a limited capacity to incorporate elements of captured weapons into his/her own designs. Remember, if a weapon is altered, any enchantments or etches on that weapon are defunct. Instrumental weaponry can be enhanced with fittings and inclusions from an equivalent or higher-ranked engineer, tech, or forge. But these must be sought and incorporated before the instrumental weaponry is completed. It takes 5 days to fix the weapons into the design, given the right equipment and peace and quiet. The frequency that is listed below after each type of weapon fitting is trade frequency for Spellsong minstrels. These will be covered in the next video, so keep your ear out, okay?